Without God in your formulation, without God in your mix, plan for it to fail.
Yeah. So first key point is to pray and get clarity from God's plan for you. So what's next is ask God for direction and clarity. The second thing that we've always talked about is really and honestly and truly compromise.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to compromise.
You are.
You're going to have to put the pieces together. If you're putting a puzzle together, we always tell people, are you going to decide to work on the outside first, or are you going to work on the inside out?
That's
you have
right.
to have a plan, and so you have to compromise in that plan. Sometimes, even down to our apps, our Waze app. You want to get to the destination. You know where you're wanting to go. You know your usual route, but sometimes the usual route has a detour, and so you're going to have to compromise. If you don't compromise, it's going to delay you. It's going to take you a longer time.
It is.
So you have to be willing to compromise.
Sometimes, when you said that, it just made me think of so many times we want to do things the way we want to do them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the correct way of doing it.
Yeah.
And the compromise come in.
Well, I've been doing that forever. I've always done it that way. I've always done it.
Yeah. The compromise comes when you lay aside your way of thinking to do what's best for both of you.
Yeah.
One of the things about being married is you can't have a single mindset.
No.
You have to be able to think in a broader perspective. You have to think more highly of others than you do yourself. And I think of my wife and myself, where we were when we first got married, how far apart sometimes our thinking was. She thought this way, I thought that way. And as we put in the years and in the work in our relationship, we begin to understand that compromising is not always a bad thing. Really, it's a sign of real love.
Yeah. And I think people think compromise is a sign of weakness. But
yeah.
really, compromise is a sign of maturity.
It is
that you're looking at the broader picture. I look even if nothing else has taught us in this past year, we've learned a lot even about compromise. We look at the political arena. You've got all of this stuff going on, and people are voting, and and they're like, but they have all of these bills that need to be passed. But it's the art of the deal. It's that they have to compromise.
It is.
And it's like, how do we build this country together as a unit for a whole, the majority? Who's going to benefit for this out of the majority? And that's what we have to do for our families, is that how do we compromise so that the majority of our family and the majority of our needs are being met?
We've been to hell and back on this earth, like we're two gangs trying to fight, and love's the term, when all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things, 'cause that's the only